If you have just joined us here on Team Fortress TV, you missed Fenneks with the big upset there, taking the best of 3 in 2 maps despite being the underdogs in this ETF2L Season 18, powered by TT Esports Premiership Playoff Round 1. And my name is Admirable. We've got Kratos here with me on the stream, DavidTheWin on the camera, but we're joined by the entirety of Fenneks. Who wants to talk to Skeej? How do you feel?
I feel great. This victory goes out to Rocket. Big up to Samzy and his crew. And you, of course.
Oh, wow. Nothing to do with me. I wanted to play. Fuck you guys. Heis is actually up top as well, so I'm going to drag Heis in as well. I think I need to register him. Yes. Can you hear us, Heis?
Yo.
Okay, so let's get this interview underway. Looking at the mid, going back to Snakewater, that was obviously the beginning of the undoing of GG Well Played, but like we've seen before that Fenneks like to play quite defensive sometimes, but GG Well Played, you kept throwing in those 2 soldiers for about the first 3 or 4 mids, and you lost like some very quick rounds there. Why didn't you react a bit quicker, Heis? Why didn't you sort of realise what was going wrong and change things up?
It's very difficult with the breakdown of comms, really, to find out exactly what's going on or why they're getting picked quickly or anything like that. It's quite difficult without them speaking to me, because having a full view of the game is obviously a lot better. So I think we were just very disconnected. Is
there an element of a language barrier there, or like the Russians talking? How does it work?
It's just me talking, and them just not really particularly speaking. Like, I mean, some of them try, like Atomic tries some to speak and Forsaken, but it's quite rare. It's hard because the Young Pies, like, obviously doesn't speak any English really at all. Basics like focus fire type calls only, really. So I mean, it's quite quiet. It's same for Shadowburn. I mean, it's like the last round's a good example. Even with listening, maybe they don't understand me fully, but I said to Shadowburn, you can't die on that middle. Died to 4 damage. I don't know if you saw that on that last bit, and we have to back out straight away. And he must have done that 2 or 3 times on process. And if you have that happening, lose a player straight away, you're in big trouble, really.
Yeah, I noticed as well. Like, I was calling you out there right at the end, but I can imagine you might have been a little frustrated or a little bit disenchanted if you were having trouble with the communications. But you seemed a bit reckless yourself at times. Even right at the end there, that last
at the playoffs though. Like, sorry, not the playoffs, the last round, the Golden Cap round, the match was lost on middle, like straight away. And then that stupid soldier force, what the fuck was that about, really? Like, I mean, he had about 10 years to kill the soldier, then there was 2 big problems before we even got to that. And then we have to push out, and the stickies were above, so I had to tell White Glow to use it. But obviously Skeej was positioned well, so I flew across the map, and then when I did actually, by miracle, get back, Rib still had his sticks above because they hadn't been shot away, even though I'd called them. So we may be able to have held if we got our players back there and switched to Heavy and Pyro, but after that it was gone.
Yeah, I think that probably sums it up pretty accurately. Shadowburn even hit an air shot on Kalari. That's how ridiculous it was, and he still managed to go in and get
Kalari
the force.
Said Kalari's here. Oh, but he's muted. He said he was even air shot twice.
He was denied, and then somehow after he gets hit twice, he's still like jumping on and off, like top of the barrier. Then he jumps on the point, then he jumps off the point. And I'm on about 20 HP, and obviously White Glow gets popped. So it's like, what can you do there?
Yeah, and that was best case scenario for us because we were also holding into account. The plan was just go in, even if you don't force. We just take a very defensive position on mid and make sure our Uber is better. And by that time, Kalari will have come back to middle.
Yeah, I mean, you did 100% the thing I would have done, but you should have just simply been denied. Like, the scouts should have been positioned better to stop it. That should never have got. We'd had 1 player pick, and then we'd been pushing against like 5 players. So
if I could play the blame game for your team, I was really missing scout pressure. Like, normally when we play GG Well Played, it's the scouts are all over the place. And this time as well, like you tried those ultra aggressive mids on Snakewater, and we were fine with it because the more defensive we kept playing, the easier the mids became for us. So yeah, we have rollouts planned that are aggressive, but we don't need them.
It was all about timing. It's all about timing on the middles,
scouts didn't follow up.
Because what would happen is like the soldiers would bomb quite deep, but I wouldn't be in a position because I wouldn't get the heals quick enough. And then when I did go in, I'd be like sort of trying to launch across the point, but because your scouts are not being like already dealt with the soldiers, the scouts are free and they're just denying my follow-up damage.
Yeah.
So it was totally out of time. And the biggest problem is with the team, and I keep trying to tell them, I don't know if they understand me, is that if your medic in demo is dead or they're getting a lot pressured too much and you're not protecting them, game over. They're just sort of running this. They're so inconsistent because they've got so much talent, but one game they'll be like Epsilon or AWS on a map, and then like another day they're getting rolled. So, or we're getting rolled, I should say.
Sounds like our team.
It's very frustrating when that happens, because to lose because you did everything like the basics right and you just didn't aim as well on a night. That's one thing, but to lose doing really dumb shit like for Shadowburn to do like the 4th death on a middle like that, even when he's been told before, it's just not. It's not really very good, is it? To be fair.
Big call outs here. I want to ask as well, what was the mindset? How motivated were GG Well Played coming into this? Did you think it was going to be an easy game? Had you practiced much? Were you prepared?
They've played, I would say, enough because by like TLR standard when we played before. But I've been totally demotivated for a while now. I was just trying to see out the season for them because I said I'd help Forsaken. And to be fair, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but I kind of feel for Forsaken because he sort of turned them into like a semi-decent team, what he was doing. But I think he got fed up of playing that heal pocket, and that's really kind of damaged the team again because they obviously like to plow heals into GDK, and that's exactly what happened to me on Process. It was like you're expected of the world, you know, you got to turn the whole game by yourself, and that's really difficult as a demo when you've got good players against you like that punish any mistake. So it just felt a little bit chaotic. Like people, it's hard to tell because they're Russian, but it didn't even feel like half the team cared about the game, just from an atmosphere
there could be some
perspective.
truth in that because, like, I was talking to you and I was talking to Forsaken before, and it was pretty much the same conversation about how you were like disinterested in TF2. You're not really that bothered about playing at LAN and things like that.
It's hard when you can't put all your energy into something. I like to do things by full, even if it's 2 nights a week. At least if I'm giving my all into it, and it's a totally different thing. But I didn't want to let these guys down, and like I say, I nearly was going to be going to LAN because I didn't want to let a team down, and that's not the right thing really. I just burnt out, I guess, and I'm just trying to see it out. I obviously did my best to pull them over and get the second map, but they had such good momentum. Fenneks, like from the first map, even how they started, it was so difficult. I think we should have lost 5-0, to be honest with you. I don't think we should have even held on for the full 30 minutes. So well played to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, go ahead, Skish.
I don't get that push out on the golden cap. I really don't get it. Like the golden cap is no time limit now, so you have all the time in the world. You have only one pick. Yeah, you know that he will go a pick class. Obviously, it was Walters who we let go in.
Yeah, and we knew you were going to take Sniper from it, 100%.
Yeah, but if you have to Uber that early, like even if it was more successful for you, then by the time I had to Uber, our spawner would have come back to second. It's so risky. Like you can only do that push out when the enemy is 1 down if you don't have to Uber on the sticks.
Yeah, well, but I totally agree with you. By that time, I was just so frustrated, and I can take the blame for everything there. Honestly, that was all me, really. I shouldn't, like when I saw the sticks, I should have just cleared them and played slowly and looked for the second pick. But it's so difficult with this team to coordinate it because you just don't have the comms to know when people are in position to push or if you can go, whether they've done damage, whether they're hurt and they need to fall back.
Yeah, I have to say that was maybe the biggest difference between the two teams then, because I was surprised on how good our comms were on this game.
I felt a little bit for Atomic because Atomic is a bit hit and miss, but ultimately he's played quite well and he didn't feel comfortable on the server, and I think it was playing with his mind. Like if you look at the first log, he had something like 4k damage, which he's a lot better scout than that. And it's same for Yangpai, who was just they were kind of off form. But you could blame the heavies as well for not putting enough damage down and all that stuff. But it just wasn't a good start. And obviously, you just played better. You deserve to win, full stop, even if we'd have got through that map. So, simple as that.
Yeah, congratulations to Fenix. Let's look ahead at the future. Your next victim or target, mountain to climb, Epsilon. Can you do it, Skeege?
We can put a good dent in them, but yeah, I don't know. Epsilon's one of those teams that is really different when they play officials compared to PCWs. So even though we take maps of them in PCWs, it doesn't say much. We will just do our best. Try to ignore the team that we're playing against. Try to eliminate the psychological part.
Talk to us about the Zoob Merc. Will Salmon be back next week? Will he be back in time to play, or will it be Zoob again you'll be looking to use?
He will come back on Monday, I think. But I don't know. Maybe it's better to keep playing with Zoob, because even if Salmon is back, he will need a day to set up, and then he might need some time to warm up.
Yeah.
And Zoob is really warmed up with us now. Like the first 2 or 3 days he played with us, it was terrible. We were actually on one game, we were on the verge of folding. Like everything went so bad. I don't know what happened. And then within the span of 1 or 2 days, everything improved so much. So we'll see. Obviously, I rather would play with Salmon with our full lineup, but it depends on when Salmon is exactly, when he's back and if he's warmed up. Oh yeah, and Kalari's not there next week. That's true. So maybe we will play with Soup, but also with Salmon.
Oh yeah, Salmon back on Roma could happen.
Big Yuka plays.
It was, yeah, we were doing like, we had Gentleman John sort of aggregate stats for the season before, and we were comparing the replacements. And yeah, Zub has like had a great season, and he's incredibly solid. And he did well today. I wonder, do GG well played regret allowing him as a merc? But he impressed. Kratos, unless you got any more questions, I think we'll wrap things up. This interview has been juicy enough already.
Yeah, I guess we're done. Like, we will see Fenix again, and yeah, looking forward for this.
I have an egocentrical question. Did you catch my arrow on the crits on Snake?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on. They crits on mid, right?
Yeah,
And Zoop got launched in the air by the crits. He was like 3 HP, and I
I wondered why nobody died from that, actually. I was like, definitely connected, it did damage, but... Oh, and
Damn
David
it.
says he doesn't think he caught it either, I'm sorry.
Damn it. We'll see it in Beater's vid.
Yeah, I could make some fake commentary for you if you want, like hype it up a bit.
we'll do, I'll hold you to that.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been a pretty exceptional first round of the playoffs. Sometimes those are pretty dire, but this was a real turn up for the books. We've seen the 5th place team overtake the 3rd place team, Fenneks eSports by Simray.com, coming out on top of GGWP.pro. I've been Admirable, with me's been Kratos and DavidTheWin on the mic. We've had Skeege and Heis in here for interviews, and a few silent players from Fenix who were saying absolutely nothing, but they were here with us in
absolutely
spirit.
Nothing.
Oh, Rube. But I should promote teamfortress.tv. Head over there, keep an eye on the schedule. There'll be more playoff games coming up in the successive weeks. Head over to tf2pickup.net as well. They've started doing pickups with the hottest map in town, Logjam. You can play that on the 6v6 pickups, as well as Highlander seems to be getting active there as well. Pognon was also streaming tonight in French, so you could go and watch his VODs. I forgot to mention that earlier, god damn it. But give us feedback on the cast as well. We've got a new streamer here, DavidTheWin. We'd love to hear how he got on as well. Any final shout outs, now's the time. Unleash.
Shout out to you, Big Gamer. Shout out to Simrai.com. Shout out to Zoop for Big Merkin. That's it.
Just shout out to all the old guys that I played with, with in TLR for the last few seasons, I guess, because this may
actually, it's
well
your
be my
last game, maybe?
Maybe
Oh my
my
God.
last game. So it's been a pleasure playing with everyone, I guess, and been some good casting, some good times in officials and that. So
Wow.
yeah, cheers.
This is we're gonna have a heist testimonial then. We'll do like a game to raise funds for your retirement, man. But
Yeah, please.
lots
Shout out
of,
to Marilyn as well.
shout out to all the Vanilla TV and TFTV staff that are doing so much planning right now for I-52. It seems like it's going to be an incredible event. I hope to see many of you there. I'm confirmed to be going now as well. I've booked. So that one's on the cards at the end of August, but ETF2L playoffs is where it's at. Nations Cup's happening right now. There's lots of Highlander action on Blackout on almost a daily basis at the minute because the Highlander Nations Cup is on. So keep an eye on that. You can see that on ETF2L.org and teamfortress.tv. But that's everything for now. Shoutouts are over. Let's
Fucking
wrap
GG.
things up. Yeah, great game. Well played, Fenix. Thank you. Good night.
GG.